The 2008 Lions were bad. You can tell that by the 0. To be clear, there are only 16 games in a season and they lost them all in a row. They were satisfied at 0-1. I dusted off my Madden NFL 09 360 version and tried to see what EA thought this team would be, then I would try my best to replicate their 0-16 season. Did Madden predict the 0-16 Lions? Well, I already know. Don't look at that. The season has been fully simulated and they finished 4-12, which means we have a baseline. Now we have to make it worse. Instead of releasing all the good rated players, I want to do it based on performance. If you performed well, your reward is we ship your ass for a draft pick. Roy Williams qualifies. I started a new franchise and traded him away to the Lone Star State because we're trying to be the no-star team. We got a second round and a replacement player. Stephen Peterman ate 89 pancakes, can't be having a monster like that on this team. Boom! Sent him to the state that's as flat as a pancake for a 5th round and a replacement player. Kansas City isn't actually in Kansas. Well, today I learned something. Jeff Backus was okay, but that's too good for this team. Jeff Backus is gonna have to back his ass up to Atlanta. We got a 3rd for him and a replacement player. Gazdir Share was another offensive lineman who performed too good for this team. I shipped him off the 4th round pick to Carolina for a 3rd and a replacement player. Turns out he was the Lions' 1st round pick from that season, and I got him for a 3rd. Should have asked for a bag of nuts too. Dwayne White led the team in sacks, and his reward for his hard work is being traded along with Houston's 2nd round pick that we got from Roy Williams to Arizona for JJ Arrington and a 1st round pick. We now have 2 1st round picks. Also, we can't have more than 10 draft picks. 10. Which means I can only get 10 1st round picks at most. That's surely not gonna happen. Leigh Bowden wasn't fantastic. If anything, he was okay, above average maybe. Off to Tampa Bay he goes. He was traded with Atlanta's 3rd round pick from the Jeff Backus trade and a 7th round pick for a 1st round and a 2nd round. Travis Fisher led the team in interceptions, you know the drill. Bye-bye. Went back to Kansas City with an offer and I gave them back their 5th round pick for a replacement player and a 4th round pick. Dwight Smith was the last player that I thought played too good for an 0-16 squad. I packaged him with Tampa's 2nd round pick from the Bowden trade to return him back to New Orleans. Get out of here. Now that we have a worse team, we should finish with a lower record than 4-12. How the heck did we get better? We won 1 more game than last time. I got rid of all the good players. You see, here's the problem. They're still trying. Can't have that. Sean McDonald can't be putting up seasons like that here. I traded him off with a 6th round pick to New Orleans for Tampa's 2nd round pick back and a different Arrington. Can't have too many Arringtons. The offensive line is also keeping our quarterback upright. Oh, come on. We need him eating dirt, which means we're going to have to trade away Corey Holsley. And a 5th round pick for New England's 4th round pick and Dan Connolly. Yes, that Connolly.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, look at this. This is Dan Connolly, the right guard. The right guard.
George Fisher was also way too good. I traded Jeff Backus away for him, and this is how he repays us. I shipped him away with the Chiefs' 4th round pick from the Travis Fisher trade to Philadelphia for a 3rd round, and Dunlap, oh, he better suck. DeVries got too close to 10 sacks. That's the best on the team. You know what that means. I sent him to San Diego along with Philadelphia's 3rd round pick we just got for a 2nd round pick in Bingham. We had 2 players who led with 3 interceptions. You know, they ain't no ball hawks, but these hummingbirds have to go. I sent Gerald Alexander and a 3rd to Cincinnati for a 2nd round pick. Then I sent Stanley Wilson, a Carolina 3rd round pick from the Share trade, and New England's 4th from Holsey for Seattle's 2nd and a replacement player. At this point, we've traded away 14 players. We went 4-12 with our standard roster, 5-11 after trading 8 players. How do we do after trading an additional 6? Well, we have to be worse, right? How did we get better? We finished 6-10. Alright, who we trading now? And his name is Jon Kitna. Finally had a decent season. If you're curious, he wasn't great the first 2 attempts, which is why I kept him on the team, but nah, I sent him and our 2nd round pick to Buffalo for a 1st round pick. Tatum Bell performed way too well for a change of pace back. 5 yards a carry, he's supposed to be Tatum Bell. So I traded him away with Tampa's 2nd round pick again and San Diego's 2nd round pick from DeVries for the Rams' 1st round pick. This is getting very confusing. I'm really surprised that it took 3 attempts for Calvin Johnson to have a breakout season. Megatron is mega gone to Cincinnati for a 1st round pick and a replacement player. You already know about how I feel about offensive linemen that aren't turnstile. Dominic Raiola was packaged with Seattle's 2nd round and Cincinnati's 2nd round for Kansas City's 1st and 3rd and a replacement player. We then used that 3rd from KC and packaged it with Manny Ramirez and sent it to the Indianapolis Colts for a 2nd rounder, and at this point we have 9 1st round picks, 1 2nd round pick. There's no way we can turn that into another 1st round pick, so I ended up just trading Ika. He's got 12 sacks. Why was he so good? Were other players too distracted trying to pronounce his name that they forgot to block him? Anyways, I traded him away for 2 replacement players. Then I packaged up LaMarcus Hicks and Jordan Dijon Mustard for 2 replacement players. Such a shame that even in Madden 09 you can't trade for future draft picks, or even more than 10 draft picks. Okay, we've now made 22 total trades. Is that enough to finally hit the perfect defeated season? We did it, gang. We finally did it. We replicated the 0-16 season. Let's look at the trades that got us here. There's a lot of trades. The first trade was Roy Williams for Houston's 2nd round pick and Anderson. We then used that 2nd round pick with Dwayne White for Arizona's 1st round pick and Arrington. We then traded away Steven Peterman for Kansas City's 5th round pick and Taylor. We then used that 5th round pick and paired it up with Travis Fisher and sent it to Kansas City for their 4th round pick and Sam's. We're not done with that 4th round pick from Kansas City yet, but we'll get back to it. We then traded Jeff Backus to Atlanta for a 3rd round pick and Fisher. We then traded George Fisher and a 4th round pick, the one from Kansas City, to Philadelphia for a 3rd round pick in Dunlap. We then used that 3rd round pick with Jared DeVries to get a 2nd round pick from San Diego and Bingham. We're still not done with that 2nd round pick. We also traded the 3rd round pick from Atlanta with Leigh Bowden and a 7th round pick to Tampa for a 1st and 2nd round pick. We then used that 2nd round pick from Tampa and paired it up with Dwight Smith and traded him to New Orleans for the 1st round pick. We then traded Cher and our 4th round pick to Carolina for the 3rd round pick and Riley. Then we traded Sean McDonald and a 6th round pick to New Orleans for Tampa's 2nd round pick, again, that we traded for earlier. And now we have another Arrington on the team. And then we used that 2nd round pick from New Orleans it was really Tampa's 2nd round pick, and we paired it with San Diego's 2nd round pick along with Tatum Bell for the Rams' 1st round pick. We then traded Corey Holsley and our 5th round pick to New England for a 4th round pick and Connolly. And then we used that Patriots 4th, Carolina's 3rd from the share trade and packaged it with Stanley Wilson to the Seahawks for their 2nd round pick and Hobbs. We'll be using that 2nd round pick in a minute, just give me... But first we had to trade Gerald Alexander and our 3rd round pick to Cincinnati for their 2nd round pick. Then we used the Bengals 2nd round pick and the Seattle 2nd round pick and paired it up with Dominic Raiola to Kansas City for their 1st and 3rd round pick and Smith. We then used a 3rd round pick and packaged it with Manny Ramirez and sent it to Indianapolis Colts for their 2nd round pick. We then traded away Jon Kitna and a 2nd round pick to the Buffalo Bills for the 1st round pick. We then traded Calvin Johnson away to Cincinnati for their 1st round pick and Simpson. Lastly, we traded Ika to the Jets for Bender and DeVito, while finally trading LaMarcus Hicks and Jordan Dijon for Barrett and Beck. That is a wild trade tree we got there. I did consider trying to see if we can then go 16-0 the following year, but nobody really wanted to sign with us. It's fine, we didn't want them anyways. Or would you be interested in a actual rebuild? Either way, I had a ton of fun turning this team into shit. If you like this kind of content, be sure to press the like button. It lets me know what kind of content to focus on. Sharing is caring, and subscribe to keep up with any of the random videos I post from time to time.